The only reason I can keep doing this show every single day is because the people who donate and make it possible. And today we've got a bunch of super thanks from yesterday's video. You click the super thanks, you donate, you get a shout out in the next video. Once again, Darcy Deming, W. McManners, Mr. Charles Russell, Steven, first name basis, and the one and only Keisha Jones. You guys are the backbone of this channel. Thank you so much. Thanks, 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 thanks. On to the episode.
Rock buddies, yeah, we raps backstreet. We're so far to drive it, ghost styles for days. Trying to find a way to say that I've been alright. Yeah, I've been alright.
That's right, guys. You saw the title. You saw the thumbnail. A chicken pot pie family recipe. Kind of a chicken pot pie casserole made postable? Kim-postable. Oh, someone had to have made... We're not making pasta though, but that's a great name for an Italian dish at a Nickelodeon themed restaurant. Was Kim Possible on Nickelodeon?
I couldn't find that on Nickelodeon, but I did find some
Disney. Oh, of course they own. Yeah, duh. Let's give it up to the person who made this one possible here today, Mr. Justin Hazard. When I first read the name, I thought it was Justin Hazard, but maybe it's Hazard because the name of today's recipe, the Hazardous Chicken Pot Pie Casserole. I see what he did there with the last name. I've been getting to know Justin pretty good. We've been exchanging emails back and forth. He does a lot of those like eating challenges, those epic eating challenges at the different restaurants, and he was passing along a bunch of the different pictures to me. Looked so fun. He was like, dude, you have to do some of these. I'm like, that's not my world. You go dominate that world, that's not me. I'm not good at mass eating, but I am good at mass promoting the living crap out of you as a human being, so thank you. Something I don't use a lot of is puff pastry. And Allie actually had a couple of these in the freezer already, so we let them thaw, and they're ready to be rolled out. Luda? How you write it is how I'm gonna follow it, so I got Justin's recipe right here. We're gonna go line by line, knock it out together, and either have a successful, warm chicken pot pie like Grandma used to make, or just an exploded, abysmal, is it food?
Is it cake?
Roll out one package of rolls flat into a 13 by 8 inch cooking dish. Seen recipes online kind of roll this out with like a roller like this too, just to kind of get it stretched. So I don't know from the instructions if you want me to coat the entire bottom part of the pan with it like spilling over the sides so you can tuck it, or do you just want it touching the bottom? So looks like I killed an albino skunk. Put this along the bottom here, get a little excess so we're not spilling off. All right, there we have it coated kind of on the bottom, a little bit up on the sides, kind of like maybe a vert ramp or a half pipe or something. And then partial bake at 400 for 5 to 6 minutes. Now in this bowl, we're gonna put our chicken, we're gonna put our veggies, we're gonna put our 2 mushroom soup cans, some milk, and salt and pepper. So we're kind of making a chickeny, mushroomy, veggie mixture of goop and greatness. I made chicken earlier today. I air fried 2 big, nice, tender breasts, seasoned them up a little bit with some garlic powder, some onion powder, just a little bit of salt, and then shredded it like I do. A lot of people like to use rotisserie chickens. You can use whole chicken, all that stuff. Justin's recipe called for just some chicken breast or some canned chicken, so I wanted to go fresh to death. So that's what that's looking like here today in the measuring cup. We got about 3 cups worth going in. Campbell's really understands me with these lids, you know? None of that do-it-yourself stuff. Oh. This is cooking, ready? How can something so gross looking be so good? Cream of mushroom soup, you know? Half a cup of milk. And then choose your weapon. Doesn't that look good? The answer is clearly not. Just instantly gonna look like chicken pot pie goo. This is a very quick and easy, yet it like looks gourmet way to make this. I've seen these made a lot of the times in cast iron skillets, and they won't use a bottom layer of puff pastry or pie crust. They just do this like kind of cooked in a cast iron, and then the puff pastry goes on top. So this is gonna be interesting having it be below and on top. So in this recipe, you'll be able to bottom and top. You can unsubscribe, it's fine. Looking good. This is literally the first time I've ever made a chicken pot pie myself. Also in my life, Grandma? I've had the Marie Calendar ones or whatever like once or twice, and you know, they're fine. I'm just not a big chicken pot pie guy. Maybe making it at home is what's gonna propel me into the future of eating these. Oh wow. Par bake. So we're gonna drop this to 350. So there's that partial bake. Just giving it a little color, a little crisp, but it goes back in. Justin literally wrote, take out par baked puff pastry, add mixed quote innards. I hope he did that just to make me laugh and doesn't actually be like, all right guys, it's time to put in the innards. Okay, here we go. Every time I hear that word. You know, get a bowl for the blood and the innards. Dwight Schrute, anybody else?
Don't let that bother you. Have a bucket there for the blood and the innards and the feathers.
Okay, we're gonna evenly spread this. It's just a food that I don't crave or really ever get. I have nothing against it. I just never get chicken pot pies. I think it's because like after you eat one, you are in a coma. Like you can't eat just a little bit of chicken pot pie. You always eat too much of it, and then you literally go up 3 pant sizes. And then you start just like debating, like, do I sign up for another gym membership? After one meal. In Justin's recipe, you use a whole packet of shredded cheese. We're going cheddar today. These things are like very Midwest. Like this is just like casseroles and dishes like this with this much cheese. This is just so Midwest. Also, I don't remember there being like cheese added, so this is, I mean a little bit maybe, but never. Let's do our salt. Pep. Justin's recipe also calls for cheese on top of the other puff pastry, which is wild to me. I thought he was gonna have like a heavy cream or an egg brush on the top to like get the brown. I'm doing it like you tell me to do it. Need a helper real quick for this part. I wanna make sure we get a nice coating on top. Yeah, 5 minutes. This one?
I'm just gonna take this over.
Someone's gotta film it.
This is very interesting because it's warm. So I need to stretch this more. I like need a visual learner. And like, are you supposed to like vent this at all?
There's no instructions to, but I think we have to.
It's interesting how like warm, is there like frozen stuff in here?
Yeah.
It's like the outer edges, like the dough's starting to melt, but then like you like go back and touch like this and it feels like it's frozen underneath it.
Yeah. I've never seen it with cheese on top like this. All right, we're gonna add cheese on top of this. As Justin said, this is crazy to me. I can't decide if he's actually just trying to bomb my oven. It's not gonna get brown without cream or dairy. Maybe the cheese does what the cream would have done? I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah, why aren't you like brushing it, sprinkling it with salt?
It doesn't say
I
to.
understand.
Top with second puff pastry, add more cheese, finish at 350, done.
After 12 to 15 minutes.
All right, here's what it looks like before it goes in. We'll see. I'm nervous. This is very hazardous. Good luck.
1 hour later.
It's been quite some time. We've had this thing in here for almost an hour. I think the cold vegetables, like not seeing in the instructions to maybe like heat everything first before you put it in. The instructions were pretty like bare bones. So I'd say like you can't put in frozen vegetables. The chicken has to still be like piping hot. And everything just, I think it needed so much time to raise the internal temperature. And also without that brushing of the milk or heavy cream or even egg onto the top, you get no browning. But we've got a puff. It's like, it looks like Jigglypuff. The bright side is, it smells incredible. There's no way it's gonna be bad. It's just, this is also my first time doing this. We let it cool just a tad here. I was so interested about this because I've always seen everything cooked together like on the stovetop before being put in. So this was great. This is like food science. What do you think? You got some crispy edges, especially this corner, and then the inside's nice and gooey. Oh, look at that monstrosity. What an interesting looking pot pie casserole.
I mean, what serving size is that?
That's like as big as one of those mini Marie Calendar ones. The Hazardous chicken pot pie casserole, I'd say heat the inside stuff. Ooh, it is piping hot.
I think the foil helped.
So Allie's idea was to take it out, cover it in foil, and kind of let it do its thing for like 15 minutes. It really helped it a lot. All right, here we go. Hazardous, and it was.
Truly. Well, the inside's definitely got warm. Did you eat the Marie Calendar one?
I had it a few times. It wasn't bad.
I feel like I ate it a lot more than I probably should have, and I don't really know why. But its center would be super doughy too, and this reminds me of it.
That crunchy outside, I mean, it's really not bad. I would have liked some more browning on top, obviously, but flavor-wise, like, I mean, this is more of a casserole than a pot pie, like, truly. The cheese is really nice on there. That's different and weird. The chicken is great, like shredded and in there. And like kind of the proportions with the vegetables and the creaminess. I'm not mad at this. That mixed vegetable bag had lima beans in it too, which I thought was interesting.
I love lima beans. I did not even notice, even though there are 3 right here.
So Justin, now that you've seen me go word for word off your directions, do you heat the vegetables first, like in the microwave? Do you steam them and then put them in? Do you make the chicken nice and hot right away? Put it in like that as well, like right off the cuff? Do you use canned chicken most of the time? And if you do use canned chicken, do you heat the chicken?
I think there's a big difference between needing to heat the chicken and putting frozen vegetables in.
True.
I think that's the important piece of information here. This is very hot.
Does a chicken pot pie ever truly cool down? A chicken pot pie really makes a lot of food for like a low amount of money. Do you guys have a pot pie recipe that you love? Is there one from the frozen food aisle you always did? Do you have a family recipe? Let me know. Let's chat pot pies today in the comments. Overall though, fun to like take someone's word for word instructions and make like a family recipe, having never seen a final product photo of it, like having talked to no one ever about it. So that really, like, recipe creating and recipe writing is such an art. But Justin, let me know how I did in my hazardous kitchen. I will see you guys tomorrow for a brand new video. Thanks for rocking with me here today. I hope you're having an amazing start to your week, your Monday. Be good to each other, and I'll see you Tuesday for another one. Loading up a bunch of videos for the week again. As we do, the Hazardous chicken pot pie casserole up. The Hazardous chicken pot pie casserole down. That was a good bite.